All right, we are back with another Record Show Finds video. This was a show Sunday, June 1st in Marlborough, Mass. It was Analog Fest, so it's records and video games too, but mostly records. This was a freaking great show. I spent a lot, bought 8 records total, but got some really good stuff, including something that's like probably number 1 or 2 on my want list. All right, so we'll try to make this quick. First dealer I went to, this is Ozzy Osbourne, Kansas City, 1986, the classic Missouri broadcast. So it's a FM radio broadcast, bootleg from Europe, I believe. Yeah, double LP. It's got all his good solo stuff. Bark at the Moon, Mr. Crowley, Shot in the Dark, Ultimate Sin, Crazy Train, a couple of Sabbath songs too. Sealed, brand new. Just came out in 2024. Had it for 35. I lowballed and said 25. He's like, yeah, no way. I'm like, how about 30? He's like, no. He said that the distributors on these bootlegs are, they don't have much margin on what they're paying for it. So he stayed firm on 35. But I did see it at another table, another dealer I buy from, for 59. And I know he probably would have gone as low as 50, but still, so I actually got a good price on that. And I pulled that up on YouTube and listened to a couple songs. It sounds really good. So super psyched about that one. That was my first pickup. Then I picked this one up from a woman I've bought from before, Otis Redding, Live at the Whiskey A Go-Go Volume 2. Super clean, 18 bucks. I got it for 12. I offered her 12. She took it. I could have gone as low as 10. I don't know if she would have taken it. I didn't want to really lowball her. And then dealer, this guy next to her that usually doesn't have stuff priced, but he had most of his stuff priced. I've never seen this one before. A few things at this show I've never even seen before. If you're a fan of Crocus, they're like early, mid-'80s hard rock from Switzerland. I think they sound like a mix between AC/DC and Scorpions, though not as good as either one, but they're still solid. And I have probably 4 of their early 80s records. This is Alive and Screamin'. It's actually a live album. I've never seen it before. Didn't know they had a live album. So that was 10 bucks. And this one is super clean. Everything I bought, all 8 are either sealed or super, super clean. This one, Jethro Tull, A New Day Yesterday. It's rare and unreleased tracks and radio sessions. I may have seen this online before, like on Amazon or whatever. It was 28. I got it for 25 from a dealer I know. I recognize most of the dealers at these shows now, but this guy I've bought a lot from over the years. And this one is sealed as well. So it's a lot of just, I guess, rare and unreleased stuff and stuff from like radio shows that they did. Made in Europe, limited to 500 copies. And it's actually banned for sale on Discogs. So it's, I guess, kind of like an unofficial release. So super psyched to find that. He had a bunch of stuff, some cool bootlegs I was looking at. A Pearl Jam bootleg that he had for like 49. He said he'd do for 40. He had a Procol Harum bootleg, but I ended up just picking this one up. I didn't want to spend too much with him, so that looks really cool. This I've never seen before. Oasis, it's called What's the Story? Unplugged Glory, and it's a bootleg, unofficial release, and it's all like acoustic performances, I guess, of a lot of their stuff from the early to mid-90s. Different concerts, radio shows, stuff like that, but all acoustic versions. And it's got some of my favorite acoustic Oasis songs on there. I don't know, this is colored vinyl, I think. This is limited color vinyl edition of 300. From what I've read online so far, they had 3 different colors, yellow, red, and like a marble, and I think they're all limited to like 300 copies. So this is one of 300 in whatever colorway it is, and again, sealed. So everything I bought's either sealed or in really, really clean condition. And that was 30. I got it for 28. People aren't budging too much on the prices, and most of the dealers I only bought 1 album from, so they're more apt to do deals when you buy bulk. This next one is 26. I only got $1 off it. Alice in Chains, Live at the Palladium, Hollywood, 1992. It's another live radio broadcast, so it should sound pretty good. I've read some reviews online. I guess it's a pretty good sounding one. It's not the whole concert. It says Best of Live at the Palladium, so it's got like 10 songs, it looks like. They do Wood, a couple other good ones. I'm not a huge Alice in Chains fan, but I do have reissues of both Dirt and Jar of Flies, which I love both of those. So never seen this, and early 90s bootleg of them. So That was a good pickup for 25. Then I was just about ready to leave, and I stopped at one other dealer who I've bought some couple things from in the past. He doesn't have a ton of stuff, usually some good stuff. I grabbed this and I was psyched. Tom Petty Wildflowers and all the rest. So Wildflowers came out in like 93, maybe 94, I think. And they just released this edition 2020. Sorry for the glare from the lights there. And it's a complete Wildflowers record on 2 albums. And then all the rest, which is 10 more songs that were recorded for the Wildflowers album that didn't make it onto the album. So I think half of them were like previously unreleased. Had that for 30. And I think I had about 25 in cash left on me. I didn't want to use Venmo because I don't want to spend too much. And I was like, all right, cool. If I can get this for 25, that'll just like tap me out in cash. But then I kept flipping and I found something else from him that is like number 1 or 2 on my want list. I've never seen an original in person. You can get a reissue online for maybe like 25, 30 bucks, but always looking out for an original. And it was 50 and I couldn't pass it up, and that's The Replacements, Tim. I have one of their other records plus a bootleg of their farewell concert, which are both really nice shape and they sound really good. This is an original, and it's in mint condition. I took it out. There's, tiny bit dusty, but like no marks at all. Absolutely mint. Looks like unplayed basically. So he had it for 50, so that was 80 for these two. And he's like, I can do 75. I'm like, would you do 70? And he's like, no, I can do 75. So I had to use my Venmo. I had to update my new debit card on my Venmo, which I purposely hadn't done so I wouldn't use Venmo at record shows because my last card got hacked about a month ago. But I'm like, just give me a couple minutes. I updated my new debit card. I paid him the 75. So I still had like 25 in cash left on me. And then I just left after that. But that I've been not necessarily looking for a while, but it's been on my want list. Top 1 or 2 that I'm trying to find. And I've never seen even a reissue in person. I've never seen. I see them online, but an original to see in person, I was psyched. And so basically 45 bucks for that because he took 5 off the total for the 2. That's a really good price for an original. So I got 8 records in total. They're, like I said, all either sealed or if they're not sealed, they're in like really mint condition. The Tom Petty, I pulled all 3 records out. They were fairly dusty, but no marks of any kind. Maybe a couple like fingerprints on one, but no scratches or scuffs or anything like that. So obviously it was played and used, but it's only 5 years old. So and the cover looks brand new. I actually thought it was sealed when I first got it. I don't even think I looked at the records there. So yeah, 4 of the 8 are sealed and the other 4 in like super, super clean condition. And I spent a lot, but got great stuff. I think like gone are the days of, I used to scoop up a lot of like $5 and $10 records at the shows and $12 records and even $3 records. But I find like I buy a lot of stuff that like $3 records, $5 records just because I could buy like bulk by volume. But now I'm spending more per record, but I'm getting good quality stuff that I really want rather than just buying a lot of volume because they're cheap. Sometimes when stuff's like $3 and $5, you'll scoop a lot of stuff up, but it's not necessarily stuff you really want. But I think you're better off paying a little more for good quality stuff that you're going to listen to that you've been looking for. So that's it. Pretty quick video. Some great finds. I'm super psyched to find Tim in basically mid condition, and I'm super psyched for basically everything else that I found too. So that's all for now. No more shows probably till the fall in September.